not talking about lilioshikas' backstory. I'm gonna wait till a few more people get in here because I am gonna do a poll on what to talk about first. Because, yeah. Hi, people. Sorry, I was setting up a poll. I will warn y'all, the trigger warning for the end and the beginning is completely different. The beginning trigger warning is much more severe than the ending trigger warning. If I do talk about the beginning, I will warn y'all now. It does mention abuse, attempt to off someone under OD, and yeah. I would if I was not live on my phone. Hi, Giza. Hi, Ash. Hi, Arrow, by the way. Alright, bye, Arrow. We love you. We love you too. Okay, I don't think much other people are gonna vote, so we're just gonna do boop. So, beginning of lilioshikas' backstory. I'm gonna warn y'all now. If you are sensitive to any of these topics, such as abuse, OD, attemptive oofing, and bullying, I don't know if that can be a trigger, but bullying, I am going to be talking about those things because that is a part of her backstory. So, big fat trigger warning there. Yeah, on to actually talking about the backstory there. English, it's hard. Basically, in the beginning of the lilioshikas' backstory, she's obviously born as a child, when she first started walking, when she could even just first walk, her parents had her doing like everything. Even if it was something as simple as just grabbing water sitting like right by them. Hi Jojo, etc., etc. Fast forward to when she finally got to school, because she did have white skin her whole life. When Lilioshikas finally got to school, the kids that teased her, made fun of her, called her a ghost, called her a oft girl, and a lot of that type of stuff. But the bullying ended up getting very, very, very bad, to the point where she wanted to off herself. Also, if I pause, it's because I'm chewing gum. Then, after the fact, she got home after her first day of school. She went upstairs, cried, blah, blah, blah. And the bullying just got worse and worse and worse and worse as she grew older. And yeah, then when she was finally 16, not 16, when she was around 10, she attempted, didn't work. Alright, that's completely fine, Jojo. Hold up, you know what? I'm gonna go on my tablet and put a trigger warning real fast, because I'm talking about highly sensitive topics. Hi, Megan. Whoa. I'm just putting up a trigger warning real fast, because if you don't read the thing, you'll know why. I'm gonna give y'all a minute to read the trigger warning, because if some of y'all get triggered by that kind of stuff, I don't want to talk about it with y'all here unless y'all think that y'all will be fine. I'm gonna give y'all a minute to read the trigger warning. Mm. So how's everybody doing? Okay, I'm gonna get on to talking about the backstory. If y'all have absolutely any questions about it, feel free to ask. I will try and pay attention and not just be yapping y'all's heads off. Because we all know Ray can get very carried away talking about her characters. So, on to the actual yapping. So, Liliashika, one, she has been white her whole life. She has been, like, literally as white as a ghost her whole entire life since she was an itty-bitty baby. Keep in mind, neither of her parents were white. No one in her generation has ever been just pitch white. Like, as white as the horns in my profile picture. Yeah, that's never happened. Basically, lilioshikas, she's been white her whole life. And she's had red eyes her whole life. So as a baby, as soon as she started to be able to walk, when she started being able to walk around 2, almost 3, her parents started making her do every little thing that they could do and that a literal child, toddler, baby person thing should not be doing. Basically, like, heck, even if they wanted something that was like 2 inches away from them, they would call it down the liliashika, be like, blah blah blah, get this, blah blah blah. If she didn't get it, she would get either hit or something thrown at her. So from a very, very young age, she was being very heavily abused. And when she was around 5, when she first started going to school and all that, she started getting bullied. And the bullying progressively got worse and worse and worse and worse as she grew older. Then when she was around 10, the bullying was very bad at that point. It was so bad to the point that kids were literally pinching her and like using actual force and like getting very physical with that bullying. And Liliashika, being that she grew up in a very abusive household, she thought that was normal. Until she met Shadina in around 6th grade. but hold up, well, we'll get back to that in a minute. When Lilioshika was around 10, again, the bullying was so bad to the point where she ended up attempting. She attempted multiple times when she was 10. None of them worked. Then fast forward to when she was 12, she met Shadina. Shadina showed her that being hit, being bullied, and all that was not normal. And Shadina showed a lot of love and care and all of that to Lilioshika, allowing Lilioshika to vent when she needed, to talk to her, to do anything she wanted to when she needed in order to help her. And then again, even she, at this point, as she was 12 at this point, she had attempted well over probably about 50 times. I don't know, I haven't decided the exact number yet, but hi Sage! Read the trigger warning down there, because I am talking about some sensitive topics, because I'm talking about the character's backstory. So, then, as Lilioshika and Shadina continued on talking, they ended up becoming really good friends. Alright, and ooh, fun. Basically, her and Shadina got very close. Alright. Ended up getting very close. And then fast forward 4 years later, when Lilioshika and Shadina were 16, they were at school one day, and while Lilioshika was standing right there, one of the kids said, hello, mind blank? Sound like my PC turned on. Hi, Ashley. Whoa. Basically, the other kids while Lilioshika was standing right there, the other kids started laughing. Then one kid said, "Look, she's talking to the white-skinned freak," to Shadina, because they were both talking. Then another kid said, "Maybe she's a freak too," referring to maybe Shadina is a freak as well. Sorry, quote-unquote, freak. Then the second kid laughs, and Shadina yells, "Would you two imbeciles shut up for more than 5 seconds? The first kid said, "Oh, what?" The second kid says, "It's true, you were probably a freak too, with your weird white and black eyes." asked to translate. Meg said hello. I don't know what the H word is, but she said hello, how are you? Then Shadina's eyes start glowing because Shadina had her powers at a very young age. And both kids run. Then as they run off, Shadina asks about Lilioshikas' home life. And Ash, trigger warning, because I know you can get very triggered by this stuff. Abuse. Very much so trigger warning. Lilioshikas' face drops more than it was. And she says, not much, still the same, non-stop abuse, non-stop things being thrown at me, you know, the usual. Then Shadina, not knowing what abuse is like, suggested her trying to fight back. And as Lilioshika was about to speak, the bell went off. Then Lilioshika says, well, that's the bell, so I gotta go. Shadina said, okay, be careful, blah, 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 blah. Fast forward to when she finally gets home. Lilioshika knocks on her door, parents come to the door, open it, drag Lilioshika inside, and Lilioshika says, Mom, Dad, I'm home, blah, blah, blah. And Lilioshika's like, shut up and go clean the dishes. Lilioshika's like, yes, blah, blah, blah. After Lilioshika finishes that, she goes up to her room, which is literally just a storage closet. Very messy storage closet. Then Lilioshika's mother says Lilioshika her last name, which might be revealed soon. I don't know. Maybe Lilioshika's last name will be revealed soon, maybe not. Anyway, someone said Lilioshika, her last name, get your butt down here now. Lilioshika didn't hear her. Her mom called her again. Then ended up storming up the stairs and yanking open her door, pulling her out of the closet, and smacking Lilioshika so hard that it not only leaves a mark, but also a very bad bruise in the future. Lilioshika obviously winced at that. Then Lilioshika's mind, because at this point she has like a voice in her head. I don't know how to explain it. I'll be back, hold. We'll be back. I'm gonna end the live because I probably have to go do my chores. I will be back.